You guys know I am always scouring the land for people who are out there doing cool stuff, people who are out there crushing it, with a certain high resonance. Resonance. Yeah, is that the right word?
Resonance. Vibration, resonance.
High resonance, positivity, doing some cool stuff. And I found Talisha Fowler here.
Hey.
Now, we're going to have a nickname for you at some point, but we got to figure it out.
Right.
Queen T. We talked about it.
So we're going to talk about some sexual wellness, women's empowerment. You're like an advocate. You are very much into, you said the masculine, feminine whole game.
Polarity, balance.
Yeah, get right on that mic if you don't mind.
Yep.
There you go.
Polarity and balance, for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Now, there was a comment about spontaneous orgasms. we might get into.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
We will, because guys
we
want to know.
will.
I have so many questions already.
And you have,
He just threw that out there right away, didn't he?
well, I'm teasing it for later, so stay tuned. So now you're a farm hippie, Midwest farm hippie. It's an entrepreneurial kind of business thing. We'll talk about that, so I'm very excited about it. So tell us, first of all, how you got into just the empowerment and the sexual wellness and what you do. Tell us about your passion for
brokenness
it.
in life, which we can all face, right? Just our journey and struggles of rediscovering ourselves, taking what was not working and trying to figure out what does work and the balance of that. And so I figured after a couple failed relationships and just trying to figure out myself and where that went, and I discovered I'm always growing and seeking and evolving. We should all be evolving and growing.
Amen, sister.
And getting to that place of like, okay, owning your own shit. Like, where am I at in life?
Yes,
we love it.
we're all about owning shit.
Come on now, come on. I don't have anybody in that damn chair. Come on.
Right. Well, we can't just project and blame, and it's easy to fall into that trap. But when you really evolve and grow, you're looking at yourself going, despite what anyone else is doing, where am I coming from? Where are my triggers? Where are my faults? And so I kind of went on this after, a couple failed relationships. I'm like, man, everyone says I'm amazing, I'm wonderful, but what's the disconnect? And then I came across feminine, masculine energy. I'm so masculine driven. We all have that balance and polarity between us. And so it's like, okay, how can we shift? Where's the dynamic coming from? What were we taught versus where we should be?
Nice.
And it just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
a lot of people think about it, they have the right kind of, mindset, whatever, but they don't implement and they don't act and be consistent. So you not only thought that way, you took action.
Yeah.
You were consistent.
Oh, it's a roller coaster. Don't get me wrong.
But you're moving forward, and anything
right.
that doesn't go well, it's evidence of what to do better, of how to get better and grow.
Yeah.
People want to failure. Failure is part of massive success.
No, failure is exactly. It's growth. So I developed the philosophy over a period of time going, okay, I'm trying to wake up every day going, okay, what can I do better today? Like I've got today, and it's hard, to get into that mindset, not think, fear and anxiety comes from the past and future living, and instead of just being fully present, which again is the balance of masculine and feminine energy. And so just going, okay, well, what am I going to do today? How can I be better? Like I woke up this morning going, okay, well, I didn't quite do that good. So today I'm going to do this instead.
There you go. With a positive
Have you ever experienced any kind of addiction?
Me not. Well, yes. Yes, for
like
people.
A lot of a lot of the things that you're saying, like a lot of the ideology that you're trying to convey, is the same ideology that recovering addicts live by.
Yeah, so not necessarily from a substance abuse standpoint, from probably an addiction to like the codependency thing.
People pleasing, probably.
People pleasing, codependency, and I still struggle with that. And so I actually was
daddy issues.
Yeah, probably moved a lot. Whenever you have such a disconnect from relationships and you try and you move so many different times, you kind of really struggle with that adaptability. And so we all have an anxious attachment styles. And I have just recently discovered I have an anxious attachment. So if anything, I would say probably that's my addiction.
There's nothing more fun than a woman with daddy issues.
I have played those out. That's okay. We'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Mike,
you are so welcome.
Look at Mike diving in. He's going for it today.
He's like, screw this motivational stuff.
All her really has big boyfriends. It was him, not me.
No, definitely I had those for sure.
I can see it all over you. I already know.
Mike's going back to prison anyway. So
I'm going back to prison anyway. Fuck it. Hey, you know what? We're gonna have us a good goddamn time till we get there.
This might 22. Enjoy
That's
this
great.
daddy issues in prison.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Let me tell you something.
Mofo.
When I first got locked up, my smart ass little kids, my daughters want to get on the phone and say, Daddy, if you're scared of your celly, don't sleep on your belly. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my God.
So I told them, I said, you know what? I said, you haven't experienced love until you've experienced love in prison.
Oh my God, I can't imagine that.
Well, that's
So
that's
so
tough love. Okay,
I
continue.
love the
Right.
name of your entrepreneurial project you're putting together. What, it came from a hater.
It did come.
Tell us from a, that's an awesome
what is
story.
it, first of all?
So, farm hippie.
Farm hippie.
So when I got into masculine and feminine energy, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? So we take our brokenness and we help people. So I went through a traumatic period in my life, and I literally just sat there and said, okay, if I'm going to go through this, I'm going to use this to help other people. Just allow
Nice.
me to go through this, learn from it, and how can I move
love it.
forward?
Absolutely.
And so I decided to go on that journey of self-discovery and acceptance and just the facets of life, right?
How long was
In
it?
and out.
How many years ago?
Oh, 2011.
How long was
Okay.
When
it?
that started.
That's when it started. Okay.
Yeah. And so just going through that and just really getting into the masculine and feminine energy part of things and the balance. I'm very masculine driven. And so I was like, okay, how can I deal with the dynamics? And I made a comment. We see tons of filters on social media and people just not accepting who they
Right.
are.
Some people look
we
like a
have
freaking-
so yeah, we have a
I don't know what they
disconnect
look
with
like.
ourselves. But so I was really struggling with some women that I know on social media that was just every photo was filtered and where you don't recognize them in person because you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Been there.
But
So fake and
but however, we do this all. We all do this because I was sitting in the car with my partner and my daughter, and I was like, oh, and I was really struggling with this particular person. But then they said to me, even my 16-year-old at the time said, Mom, what's the difference between that and you getting up in the morning and putting makeup on? Adorning yourself in the feminine,
yeah.
right? It's whatever we need to feel good. But we're so broken too that we don't accept. So where's the balance, right? And so I thought, wow, okay, check myself. We all need to check ourselves and see where our intention's at. And I'm like, okay, so nothing triggers us unless it's within ourselves. So what about these women that are just overly filtering themselves is triggering something inside myself. So I made a Facebook post on it, really calling my own shit out.
Yeah.
Not anybody else. I was literally confessing my own judgment.
Well, we talk about all the time here. Haters will go at a puppy dog and rainbows
yeah,
and
yeah.
a bright sunny day. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't even addressing this particular individual. And then all of a sudden, she made a horrible comment and said, if I want to be a simpleton farm hippie, then by all means do that. And I'm like,
Oh, nice.
oh, I kind of like
Like
that.
that.
Thank you.
Talk about the
So-
great mindset of taking that and channeling
Right.
it.
Yes, I was like, instead of hating on her, I was like, you know what? I appreciate you do you. I'm going to do me. And I love the name. Thank you.
Right.
Right.
So, because farm hippie, again, masculine and feminine. What do you think of farmers and doing or, pushing out, producing? That's all what masculine energy
And the
is.
hippie is just flowing.
Yeah, and the energy
I
is
feel
the
you so
feminine
good right now, yeah.
essence
Your
and
energy
the
is
flow.
Yeah.
What was that, Arthur?
Or most of them. Some of them, I guess.
Yeah, so it just became I was like, how perfect is that? So,
Now, if you-
Great
it's not
story.
exactly sexy, but it's true.
When you go on and make millions with it, she'll probably want part of the name.
royalties or something.
So, Arthur, how you doing?
Yeah.
Are you digging our awesome guest here? Talisha?
Yeah, I mean, tell us more about your practices, what you do, your healing, your tantric yoga.
Well, right now, so I have
yeah.
long-term strategies of what I'm wanting to accomplish. And I started out literally just connecting with women, especially when COVID hit and I bought some land and I just had this journey of like, we are so disconnected with ourselves. And so how can we reconnect? And so I started, and I haven't developed it too much, a Facebook called Living Life Connected. So we're connecting with ourselves, nature, and individuals.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and so I would have
Definitely.
liked to spin on that and continue to grow and develop just a massive internal, because I think we're just so disconnected. And
Yeah.
you're laughing.
I'm sorry. I just
do you
had
wanna
no
come join
listen.
us?
I had an epiphany just now.
Oh, you did?
I
Over here,
understand.
Mike.
listen, I finally understand why there's the whole feminist movement and the girl movement, because she's sitting here talking about contact with her patients or whatever, and I'm just seeing her scissor every chick she's ever come in contact with.
Scissor.
This is why men can't. We're 12 years old. I can't help it.
Okay, yeah, we talked about it. Like,
But that's humans, though. I mean,
that's no. I brought it up last night.
yeah, we talked about it.
Humans
because
are
we were
so
talking. I'm like, guys,
weird.
because I'm connected to you now.
Yeah.
I understand how men think now.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
It's
off,
fucked up.
but it
I can
gives me
admit
an
that it's not-
insight, because women,
Right.
we don't think that way. We don't see a
Well,
scissor and then we're
I-
like, let's connect. I'm thinking
Right.
like we're sitting in a circle and we're like helping each other, and we're like energy circulating, and he sees
Straddling
scissoring.
women over women.
Scissoring.
No, I do have a serious question that I'd very much like your opinion on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm a recovering addict.
Yes.
Okay. I had my go around with methamphetamine for a long time.
Going back to prison. Sorry, dude.
That's all we can think about it now.
And so on.
Toward
Those
the-
are our first shirts. Mike.
Toward the end of my
back to
run,
prison
if you
tour.
will, like
Sorry.
toward the end of my addiction, it was very much based around sex as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, fast forward, I've been clean off of meth for over 2 years. Okay. But it has ruined my sex drive in a lot of ways. I just don't find myself as interested in sex. And a lot of it is because it's like a performance anxiety, if you will. Because it was nothing to fucking get a 8 ball of meth
Primal. Yeah.
and
hound
get a
all
hotel room and spend 4 days without coming up for air. And you know what I mean? Like the drugs would help you perform because that's just what they do, right?
Like a jackhammer,
So
huh?
now coming out the other, it's all on me. Like I have no help. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it creates a lot of anxiety around having sex. The anxiety just makes you not want to fucking do it at all. And it causes me problems in relationship. Like it makes women that I'm with feel like I'm not attracted to them. Like, and I've even tried to explain this to them.
There's a disconnect.
But yes, there's very much so.
Which is odd for me to hear a man say this, because usually emotional and mental things are how women really struggle with orgasms and connecting with a partner and being fully present. So it sounds like you're experiencing the same thing. So it's almost a trauma response from you. You probably need to spend some time just, for me, thinking connecting with yourself.
With your masculine,
and your
maybe.
masculine.
Well, see, and I spent when I
a
went through
fleshlight?
treatment and all that, I did the whole made sure I had a year of sobriety underneath my belt before
Yeah.
I dated. I went 18 months before I had a sexual experience again.
So you're rediscovering yourself. Do you have a fear wrapped around intimacy? Are you
I'm sure.
blocking yourself?
I got fucking demons way bad. They're lying the fuck up. Definitely. There's all kinds of shit that I fight on a daily basis.
Well, and sobriety, so it's an energy exchange. So are you just afraid of releasing certain energies with someone, or?
Interesting, isn't it? Wow.
It is. I never really thought about it like that. I don't think it's that so much. I think it's really like a.
Fear. It's fear.
It's a fear. It's an anxiety, and it's like.
Wow, it's deep.
What
deep
I'm
stuff.
can
Well,
I say
now
what I'm feeling?
I want that. It's a fear that I won't be able to satisfy my companion because I don't have the help that I had when. It's like an insecurity.
that
You know
fear
what I
is
mean?
always there. You just covered
Interesting.
it up and masked it. So you've got childhood traumas that you haven't worked
Yeah,
through to get to the next stage individually.
Every dude on the planet, unless you're fucking.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, unless you're Peter fucking North,
Excuse me.
every common man on the planet has some insecurity of not being able to, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what they say.
Well, Mike, so
We're men.
I can relate to you because I had a problem with Adderall before, and it will always help me to get organized and get shit done. And once I got off of that, I had anxiety and insecurity about I cannot get this done because that was what my crutch, So you still have a crutch, you trying to so you need to find that inside of you. And I say for you, testosterone is important. You just need to build up testosterone levels and go through your masculine. I can start lifting weights. That's all I'm asking, And I think you'll see masculine, you are, like she said, you're disconnected. It's more of a feminine issue,
Yeah.
So you're falling onto your feminine energies more.
That-
Whereas
that
you need
makes
to
some
go
sense.
back onto your masculine.
Yeah, for sure.
And see, and it hasn't helped because, dealing with probation and like the legal matters that I'm still coming to the tail end of.
Right.
Like I can't, there's a lot of things that hinder me from being
But at the end
a
of the
man,
day,
if you
I'm
will.
sorry, this is still an excuse. You do it or you don't. That's what.
No, I get what you're saying completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so polarity and balance between the both of us, you're really struggling with your manhood. And that's just calling it out what it is. You need to overcome that. You've used substance to feel like a man instead of just being a man. No offense. But once you heal that, you're going to attract that woman that releases that inside you and allows you to be that energy towards her. But until you don't need to be trying because you're not there to give that. I mean, you can go out and have meaningless sex all you want, but for you it sounds like you need to experience something on a deeper level.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe like a really feminine woman can help him get back into his masculine more. Is that what you're saying? I'm understanding what you're saying? Or
You're
like,
not.
no?
Well, unless you're to me, you can be in a false masculine state. That's still not going to, or a wounded masculine, which is, again, probably we could have more episodes and deeper.
Oh my God.
Well, I have figured out some stuff for sure because I want to pound away and I can't. I can't. My wife blames it on the kids. Well, in her defense, a 3-year-old run around, 9, 11-year-old, it's not easy.
Oh.
But there's times where they're not anywhere. And it's not
You're
even,
the man. You need to make that happen.
I know.
Exactly.
But I know,
So
but I
no.
need some kind of a green light. I don't want to I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Well, so that has not been the case. There is ways, and I believe that married couples and kids, there is ways. Like take a roll of quarters or a bunch of change and throw it into the yard. I learned this through a marriage festival class. And take 1 quarter back. So you're like, there's $10, there's $2 or whatever in dimes out there. Go find them. And you keep one with you. And you say, they're in their front yard or in the yard, fenced in, whatever, safe. And then we're going to go play upstairs because they're going to be looking for the missing coin, right?
Oh.
And so you find ways to
You can
interact.
figure out the way, yeah.
You can
I know,
find
you're right.
But lead
ways,
the way.
but-
Be the man.
I
Lead
know,
the
you're
fucking
right.
way.
But if
No,
she's not
you're
having
right.
that connectivity, that means she's in masculine doing energy,
Yes.
being the care provider.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she cannot get into her sexuality.
Amen to that
Yeah.
one.
What if
Go,
we're both,
continue.
what if we're both wanting to feel wanted and we both are waiting for the other one and no one's making a move? Is that
You're the man.
I know,
Yes.
but I need to see
And
some-
she's in her masculine.
What she's
needs
saying
to
is
show-
you got to
She's in
bonk her on the
masculine.
head
It's
and
like
drag her to
coming
the other
at her.
Here's what
room.
it is. Here's what it is. I've looked it up. Is this true or not? Her vibe is she's in mommy mode.
She's
the
in
kid
mommy mode.
sleeps with her. The daughter follows her around. She
You're
even
not
said that
making
her
her
skin
feel like
medicine
a
doesn't make her
queen.
want to do
Yes,
it.
You're not
ma'am.
making her feel like a princess and a queen,
Okay.
and that
That's
beautiful
it.
flower and vibrant energy.
Yes.
Look at her, and it's a renewed
So
energy.
it's on me.
It is.
I got you. You're right. And I'm saying this as a way for me to kind of talk about it because
Yeah.
I know I need to do that. You're right.
Right. Even the small moments of just building up. Foreplay just doesn't happen 10 minutes before sex. It's like, hey, beautiful,
Hey,
how
honey,
you doing?
like,
just
Yeah.
walk
I got you.
by.
Yeah, just
and just walk
it's a
by in the
look.
kitchen.
It's a
Pour her
look.
over, kiss the
It's a
back
touch.
of her neck.
I know.
It's like,
I got you.
yeah.
So speaking of,
and that can go on for days until she's ready to just ravish. It's built up.
so
She said it.
a simple touch, a simple
yeah.
look, or whatever. I got your vibe.
You have to make her feel feminine. She's a mom mode, masculine
Yes.
energy, helping the family, doing whatever she feels like she needs to do, which is the modern day woman,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So that we've lost such disconnect between feminine essence and our equal empowerment, and where we need. Which, don't get me wrong, I believe in that, but I also believe that you're never going to have equal, and you shouldn't have equal
We
polarities.
cannot be equal.
Interesting.
We cannot be equal.
Guys, this is
No.
And it's
fascinating.
okay.
It's so like
We are not better or worse.
I don't wanna
We're
be
different.
equal.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we're different. We're so different. We're like fish and like monkeys. We're
Save
so different.
it. I believe that one
That's a
day.
great. That's a great.
all over the place.
Hey,
That's a great.
it's even better in her Russian accent. You are either fish or monkey.
These are monkeys. These fucking monkeys are here.
You're welcome.
The masturbation tits and shit. Fuck them. Judge Judy. Fuck Judge Judy.
I think that one day, women
it just got
and
hot
men
in
will
here.
also
I know, I feel it.
be
Do you have
equal.
Do you have something in you right now? No, let's talk about. Hold on. I got to
What?
preface that.
No,
Hold on.
I-
Hold
no,
that thought,
I
Arthur. Hold that thought.
Okay,
You're
we
gonna
need to
ruin-
talk about the orgasms because you guys will not
gosh.
forgive yourself
Oh,
if you
Lance.
don't. Okay.
You guys are talking about eggs, some kind of egg, some kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I brought
What do you have? Show us.
I brought an yoni egg. This is one of those like spiritual things that
Can
women.
I sniff it? Is that weird?
Okay, I cleaned it and it's totally
I
fine.
just want to sniff it and make sure everybody knows it's clean.
Why do you want? If it's clean, why do you want to smell
It's
it?
clean. It's been. Yeah, you can sniff it.
How heavy
No, it's
is
heavy.
that? No,
It's
that's
heavy.
what
Wow.
I said. I'm
Yes.
Like, no,
So-
I have not used one before.
It helps to learn you concentrate your energy for women who like have issues.
I just touch
you know?
myself to do that. I don't know.
A lot of women cannot, and
Yeah.
also like you can carry it inside of you, so you're like utilizing those muscles to keep it in, and you can use it like.
Well,
So- No, go
yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like in all seriousness, we joke around, but I mean, this is like I could get a fleshlight. I could get a pocket pea, So
Yeah.
how does it work exactly?
You just stick it inside, and
Is it like a Kegel thing?
So do you do it in private or can you do it like, not right now, but at some,
yeah.
like,
Sometimes like I would just forget it was in, and it will just come out like randomly.
So were you ever like
You're like-
standing in Starbucks and just
Yeah,
Drop
it
an egg.
happened. Yeah, it sucks when you don't have underwear on.
So
then.
does it make you just feel good, or does it make you have an orgasm, or what's it do?
I was just experimenting with all this femininity and energies and practices like for years. Like I haven't used it in a while. Like
Gotcha.
it reminded me when
it was recommended that I use balls like to help with the tightening and
Like Benoit balls?
issues. So you actually insert one
Insert,
into the
yeah.
rectum, into the vagina,
Yeah,
and they work
they do
together to
that,
help
yeah.
tighten
Interesting.
everything
is it
back up.
magnetic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So now-
women
So
use
like
all kinds of
physical
stuff. Yeah.
therapy type stuff.
Yeah,
for
I even
sure.
had sex with this on. You like stick it in, and you had sex with it, so it gets
Have you tried it?
yeah.
You
Did I
like
hurt the
it?
tip of
You
his
love
dick or
the egg?
what? I don't know.
What's it called? That thing?
It's called yoni egg.
Yoni egg.
And it's like made out of jade. It's a really good non-porous material, so it's easy to wash and clean.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, I've never.
and it's
had
very
to use something
energetically
like that.
heavy, like energetically dense.
Yeah. So no, I mentioned this term a couple times. I like to talk about it. The spontaneous orgasm thing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit? I mean, it's
I mean,
amazing.
yeah, I can. No, oh gosh, the first time that ever happened. So again, just diving into your sexuality and your body and knowing yourself. When you're so in tuned with your own essence, But honestly, the first time it happened was a rare thing, and I was in the middle of a state entrance exam. I should not say that. I'm in literally a room full of people taking a 2-hour written essay state entrance exam, and when they set the timer,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, 30 minutes left. I'm like, whew, the adrenaline within
Yes,
my
I
body.
feel you.
You had
Oh
no
my
air or
god.
anything in there?
No, I
It
had
was just,
nothing.
okay,
like
go
this
on.
just literally happened, and I'm like, okay, and just
Faster.
like
I'm
the
just
energy, yeah, right. No, the
no, it's
energy
amazing.
was like, oh, holy, okay, and then all of a sudden my body just started like doing this weird thing, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Next thing you know, I'm like, oh my god.
This is fantastic.
I know.
So
Yeah.
did it feel really
No.
good, or was it just
well,
like a?
yeah, it's
so
it's
you
a
felt it.
completely different feeling.
I felt
Yeah,
it.
it's a different
Right?
orgasm. It's a whole body
it's a
orgasm.
Whole body orgasm.
Arthur just had an orgasm. Just
We don't want you to orgasm.
Drew got to tell. I'm just kidding, Drew.
No,
It's a joke.
So when you can make yourself orgasm on a whole body vibe, it's completely different than just touching yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's just a momentary, isolated thing. When
Yes.
you can do that yourself. So that was my first experience when you just stop and you're just
Whoa.
like, I'm literally already freaking out because it's a timed test,
Yeah.
and now I just took how long to like
So-
convulse in front of people.
You told me.
I had a chick tell me one time, like, she was. Why am I all of a sudden afraid to say these words? She was a squirter, right? And she would tell me that there was a difference between like a woman squirting, a woman coming, and a woman having an orgasm.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
That's
for
all-
sure.
they're all
yeah,
different?
All different. Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't the lying whore I thought she was after all.
No, there is absolutely a difference.
Can any woman squirt?
No.
It's not something that can
You
be
have
taught.
to no. It's a full body release, and most women don't allow themselves. My experience and conversations I've had, we don't allow ourselves to get there in an emotional release.
Yes.
It takes a lot of safety, releasing, relaxing, and staying out of your head. So unless you're using some kind of substance to stay out of your head as a woman,
See, it's funny because
what
every
women
chick that I've
want,
ever seen
that's the
squirt,
same.
there was no emotion involved in that. They were.
That's because you're drugged up.
Well, I mean, not every. Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, baby.
Like, we'll get there. Okay, we'll help you.
So the emotion of anxiety, the test,
yeah.
it was similar to the adrenaline and the intensity
It was
of an
the
orgasm.
adrenaline. Yeah, absolutely. So
Wow.
that was the first time I ever just literally had no control of it. It was just, and then I'm like, ooh, what does this mean? How can you reproduce this? You know, right? How can you make that happen? And so it's just tapping in with your body. And so over the course of time, I've just allowed myself, because it is such a different or full body orgasm, you're just like, I kind of want to explore that a little bit more.
Nice.
So does that like ruin you achieving anything with someone special, if you will? Because like some people can only achieve like, you know, maximum pleasure if they have the intimate connection with a certain person, you know what I mean? But if you can achieve that on your own without even, you know, being touched or penetrated or anything, like
too different. And so that is definitely a man thing to say.
A certain type of porn you go to all the time?
No, because there's certain things and stages and different types of orgasms. You should explore it all. Especially if you're in a relationship and with someone that you're committed, you fully explore different aspects of it, from the intimacy to the, you know, toys and, you know, special rooms or whatever you can do in the play. There should always be play, right? But when you can do that with yourself, that the full body experience, you can still experience that with someone else. You just have to go about it a different way.
Yeah. So now, are you taking clients or anything, like as a service to help people with this, or is it just you kind of talking about it?
No, I quit prostituting a long time ago. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That'd be a whole different show, part two.
Right,
yeah.
No.
No, but like I said, there's a practitioner who like help women to experience an orgasm, like energetic practitioners.
I've wanted to. So I literally, it can get to the point that I have such, now there's a difference between having masculine sexual drive and sexuality.
Absolutely.
So for me, I have both. So I'm learning to balance that, because there's not some days I can just play with myself like 3 times a day, you know. Or I sit at work and I'm like, I cannot concentrate because I'm so horny. There's a lot of masculine energy there. And so then I have to think, okay, where is that coming from? What am I needing to accomplish? Or there's some kind of masculine drive within that. But if I can transcend that into like sexual energy of flow and creativity and redirect, right? It's redirecting.
You can use it for like creating so many things.
And that's what I talk about with feminine and essence and growth. And
so cool.
What we can have inside our bodies and energies and how we can redirect that. There's so much power within that. And so I would love to. I went to my doctor. I'm like, okay, I know you can give guys pills that will take sex drives away. Please give me something or to give them. I'm like, please give me something to take mine away, because this is so inconvenient.
Wow.
And she's like, why would you do that?
Oh my God, it's like a guy's dream.
I like it's so inconvenient. It really is inconvenient, because I'm like, I have to.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm like, if I'm at work and I'm typing, I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
I literally have to say, like, seriously now? Like, if I walked around,
and you equate that to being the masculine side of you?
Yes, for sure. There is something, and this was a recent discovery, and just kind of dive deep. I'm like, why do I have this balance and energy of polarity? I'm like, I should have been a man. I don't know. Like when you think about like men that just walk around with hard-ons all the time, or you see those funny movies, I'm like, okay, why?
But it only means that it's working for you.
Whatever I'm doing,
whatever
for
you're
sure.
doing, it works. And if you like learn how to sit with this and just
so I turned it in not just that sexual drive, but turning it into feminine essence, right? To be able to flow that into creativity, and abundance and different areas.
Bring the money in, you know. Attract all this money.
So I gotta ask you, do you do it a lot, like all the time, like? I imagine it's like every day.
My lover does say if I go a couple of days without having sex, I get really grouchy.
Nice.
He's like, okay, we need to meet up.
Arthur, do you get grouchy when you don't have sex for a while?
Okay, so like how many times do I have to remind you that I'm an elf and humans just disgust me?
I forgot.
Okay, solid point.
Good
point. That's a good point. No, but I ask that with all due respect. I mean, I think it's healthy. You know,
so that was the thing.
Moods,
it was a part of accepting myself, going, okay, well, why am I like this, and how can I help? Because that's the thing that my general practitioner said to me. She's like, Tilsha, you have no idea how many women struggle with this. They relationships really suffer.
Well, that was the main part I loved about your story, was helping other people with this.
Yeah. So I've sat with women, and I've literally sat in circles before of a group of women just to tap into that part of them. I've done, if you can, I'm doing another study. This will be my third book study, audio book of the book called Pussy. And I'm literally listening to it now about how that radiance and the life force within us can create such abundance in every relationship we
Absolutely.
have. Connect how that we can use that to connect with other women, to connect in relationships, how we can balance that with our work environments. A lot of CEOs and primarily dominant women who have that masculine energy in other areas of their life really struggle with the relationship part of things. And so it's all synergistically a balance that you have to work with.
Well, I
There's
think
so much
it's
we can talk
fascinating.
about it,
There's so much to talk about. We got to wrap it up. I just want to thank you so much. I think what you're doing is fascinating. Seriously, I mean, it's a lot of good.
Let me ask one more question real quick. Because I read a book that come out, I think it came out like 2009, 2010. It's called Sex at Dawn. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not.
It's this guy Christopher Ryan and his wife wrote it, and it's a prehistoric study of like the origins of modern day sex, and basically like what they're saying is monogamy is bullshit. Like monogamy is something that was set forth by the church. It's like
or government or political
and
connections.
and like the whole reason we have the saying that like it takes a village to raise a child is because like at our core and our tribal nature, you know, nobody knows who child that is because all the men shared all the women. A kid belonged to the whole community, like the whole tribe. And like the fact that we, you know, monogamy is like just the biggest. It goes against our natural instincts. You know, like women seek out, whether they realize it or not, to mate with the best. The companion is going to give them the best child.
They do, but they are not going to sleep with every single man out there.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a woman's selective process, even if she don't know it. She's going to mate with whoever's going to give with the best gene pool that her instincts can find. And like men just want to pound on everything because we want to repopulate the earth.
We don't seek to mate with many men. We seek to mate with this just one who we see to be like a.
However, so Esther Perel does relationship counseling, sex, you know, and so she talks about this in a recent interview that I watched her, and she wrote a book on. But literally, actually, women get bored more faster in monogamy relationships than men do because that adrenaline and that rush of emotions and fluidity and just that good feeling can skyrocket once it sets in and reality sets in. The men stop courting and chasing because they've won the prize now.
Because men stop courting. Here you go, and that's the point. We don't have to like get bored if men don't stop courting.
But men can have that sexual satisfaction.
At the same time, like the reason we do that as men is because once we're in a relationship, we have at that point the way we feel about it, we have taken on more responsibility, which at some point, whether we intend to or not, is going to take our attention away from you because we have more attention focused on being able
today.
to.
I have one more comment
you see what I'm saying?
this. No, but here's the thing is, and I learned this in a marriage festival. If your man is going out to work and they are seeing steak, what is appealing to them, which is that confident, strong, powerful woman. And I was a stay-at-home mom, and I tell you, in my marriage, I made sure that if I lounged out in my jammies and I didn't have makeup on, before he got home, I had a shower, I had makeup on, I had dinner ready. Because if he has steak at work, he doesn't want to come home to a hot dog, right?
Right,
He's bringing the wiener home. I don't need to be the wiener. Right?
It's funny that you make that comparison because I've always said that it doesn't, you can give a man prime rib every day. Eventually, he's just gonna want a motherfucking cheeseburger.
But but there's the thing is like you have to keep that drive alive. I will never not provide that
it's tough sometimes, but you gotta do it.
Secrets or just the intimacy and the playfulness. I mean, I got in my car last night, drove to the end of my field, told my lover to meet me there, and we had sex real quick in the back of my property, and then we went on our way.
You gotta do shit like that.
You have to keep it alive.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We all have boners over.
For sure.
Do you have a boner, Arthur? Okay. You guys know this has been fascinating.
It's just the length that it always usually is.
All right, guys, this has been fascinating. We got to do a part 2, I guess.
Yes, we have to.
Talisha Fowler.
We would like to come
Mike
back.
Descon, thank you. Sir Arthur, thank you. Nadia, thank you. You guys have
Thank you.
Mike had his final thoughts. Arthur, you have any final thoughts?
You seem to be very knowledgeable, and I appreciated this. Thank you.
Right on, Arthur. Very cool. Nadia?
Yeah, part 2 is coming out for sure. I loved everything we talked about it. Completely agree with everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Honestly.
Karina. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great.